But here's the odd one. Deadpool 3 is getting somewhat of a setback when it comes to the filming of that, as Ryan Reynolds is legally banned from doing any improv on the film.
What?
And that is basically kind of how those scenes come together in the other Deadpools, is that Ryan Reynolds will just like improv on the set.
Is this real or is this like internet stuff?
This is real, at least according to ScreenRant.com. The issue is that there is under the 2023 WGA strike rules, one of Deadpool 3's writers, Reynolds, who's a member of the WGA, is not allowed to make any changes to the film's script while the strike is ongoing.
Oh, yeah, no, yes, that is.
As the actor is known coming up for different types of jokes during the filming, Deadpool 3 will have to do without that.
That counts as writing. Yeah.
Yeah, it counts as writing. So he can't.
Yes. Yeah, this is all right. I thought this was like some weird arbitrary Disney rule. This is a strike rule. Yeah. When the strike first happened, everyone in the guild got a big sheet that said, here's things you can do and things you can't do. And I sent it to JP.
Yeah.
I was like, yo, look at this. It is everything. So for example, if this show was more than just us talking, like we had a scripted thing, me being like, I'm gonna goof around, I'd have to sit here and be like, correct.
Yeah.
Yes. Like you can't add anything, you can't subtract anything, you can't edit, you can't change anything. If Bronze wrote a script and then said, Jesse, will you see if this thing looks good? For whatever reason, I don't know why she'd do that. I'd have to be like, I'm sorry, I can't even look at it. Like that's where it's at. It's that kind of stuff. So, all right, this makes sense to me because it's guild rules, not
like legal
the
rules.
higher up thing. Yeah, because
like
if he's a writer,
Disney
legally he can't do anything.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Well, if the screen actors go on strike, nothing's gonna get filmed anyway. So.
Yeah. I would suspect that they'll probably halt production on that as well. And then at that point, there's not much cooking for Disney, for at least Marvel, I guess.
If the producers go on strike, then that's it. Like I don't know why nothing would get done because they're the ones putting it all together once it's they're doing pre and post production stuff.
That's right. Yeah.
So once that's even Agatha could be shut down.
Yeah. For the editing. Well, I guess just all of it because that's producers are involved in all.
Yeah, it'd be like editors could still work, I guess, but then they'd have to send the dailies or whatever to a producer or someone higher up, and then they would be like, "Sorry, I can't look at this," and then nothing would happen.
Right. An interesting time for sure over the next couple of months as we
again people
said
forget
show after show
2008 that like 2008 period it was for 2 months nothing was created and anything that was created was hot trash. So like it'll be interesting.
Yeah. I was having the conversation with another content creator, like I wonder if instead of reality TV this time around, if the kick will be to like go to like live streamers or YouTube. Because
I am begging the entertainment industry not to.
Because in like 2008, that wasn't that big of a deal.
I don't think it will, because I think it's the same issue why Twitch has a hard time attracting advertisers. It's because you have no fucking clue what these people are gonna fucking say. It's not worth the liability.
Somewhat reality TV
you
as
have
well.
No clue.
Yeah.
Well, reality TV is scripted.
I mean,
so
to a degree,
you kind of
yes.
have I know people who've worked on like reality television, and they have a pretty clear idea of like where it's gonna go. And we kind of saw that happen even a little bit with like G4. Not to get too far into it, but you had like TV professionals suddenly coming in contact with like streamers, and you could see where the friction was happening. At least for me, I could see on camera where I'm like, because I have a foot in both worlds. I do a lot of like official stuff with people who've worked on television, and the way you conduct yourself there is very different than the way streamers conduct themselves. And so there's I don't know, as I don't think I would get a bunch of streamers and put them on TV, because
But that's
Especially the
here's-
ones that would be courted make so much money and can always fall back on streaming, so they
Right.
don't care if they never get hired again. Whereas Colin Farrell is, he probably cares if he gets another movie.
True. Here's the thing, though. You're smart. Hollywood execs just want content. They don't give a shit.
I think Hollywood executives may be stupid, but they very much understand track record of performance.
That is also
And
true, yeah.
Every single time they've tried to delve into the world of like bringing influencers to like make them famous, it fails.
It hasn't gone
almost
their
all
way,
the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's like 2 or 3 examples of it being success. And other than that, it's a complete failure. And my goodness, I've watched, like, I don't know if all y'all remember when Maker Studio got bought by Disney, and then
Oh, yeah.
Disney
I've seen
Go, I think was
Polaris.
the name of the channel.
But
They did like a
yeah.
Disney, or maybe it was Disney XD. Disney
Disney
XD had
XD
like
is
a
the
show
channel.
that where they would play the best of
Yep. They still do.
streamers and shit. And
That's still a thing.
It
It's all
is
branded.
genuinely
It's all branded Polaris, which is what that
one of the
thing
worst,
was.
absolute worst things I've ever seen. It is. We were in a bar at a convention when it popped on the TV, and some guy goes, "I don't know what this shit is, but it's not sports." And then they turned it off, and that's the only time I've ever watched it, and I will never watch it because there's nothing quite as awful as watching someone who doesn't know streaming edit streamers together into like a 30-minute show.
Yeah.
It is unwatchable.
Mm,
And I can't. Here's all I'll say.
yeah.
More MILF manner.
MILF
Sure.
manner.
We can do
I also
this.
think like like when you're in this world, that it seems like it's big, but when you're not in this world, it's actually very small. And like people will sit
Do you
here
mean
and talk
streaming?
about,
The streaming world?
yeah, and people like just nerddom in general. And people will sit here and talk about like, oh, that's gonna affect Disney Plus's bottom line. Meanwhile, like the biggest thing that affected Disney Plus's bottom line is them losing the rights to cricket. Literally, you can
Yeah.
go look it up. They lost
Yeah.
millions of dollars because they lost the rights to stream cricket. Now I lived in India for 12 years, so I understand just how many people watch cricket, and how
Right.
big cricket is.
Yeah.
But it really puts it in perspective where people are like, well, I'm going to unsub because of The Mandalorian. I'm sure Disney will notice. And I'm like, no, they're shitting themselves because they lost cricket and that cost them $1 billion. They care a lot more about that, And so I think it's one of those things where when you're inside of it, it seems like it's like such a huge but when you're outside of it, like your average reality TV show probably gets more viewers than the biggest Twitch streamer, just because of the nature of like it's a
100%.
bigger audience.
A
And
shitty
I'm saying,
TV
like,
show gets thousands,
yeah.
millions of viewers compared.
and
Yeah.
it's not even like the hit reality TV. I'm saying
Yeah.
like Dance Moms
Yeah.
probably gets,
Yeah.
I must stress this to you. Yesterday, when filming Cox and Crendor, delightful podcast, wink. We were talking about how he was at his parents' house for, I guess, a birthday or something, and they were watching. Like when you go to your parents, you watch like in whatever the hell they want to watch, and it's always something old and weird.
Yeah.
And so he
The
said that they were
dog,
watching.
the dog show.
Yes, yeah. And he's like, I was over there, and they put on PBS, and we watched the Lawrence Welk show. Lawrence Welk has been dead for some time.
Okay.
The Lawrence
Yes.
Welk show is like an old variety show. Here's the thing you need to know. It currently broadcasts still in rerun from like the 60s and 70s to 297 channels on PBS with an average of 3 million viewers a week.
Hell yeah.
That is more than a vast majority of streamers. And I was like, oh my God, that guy has been dead he's like doing so much better than us. I can't
Or
even
even,
express
like,
that to you.
when Netflix and Hulu and all these companies fights over the rights to Friends, and people are like, who's watching Friends? Your aunties,
Yeah.
So many
your
people.
grandma, your friends over in other countries who are trying to learn English.
Yeah.
They
Friends is
love
massive.
Friends.
Yeah.
I know so many people in India who know Rachel and Ross, but they don't know
Sure.
like other stuff that to us is like super relevant. They might not know who the Mandalorian Din Djarin is, but they know Rachel and Ross and Frasier
Yeah.
and Seinfeld. Like shit that you would not expect. They know King of the Hill.
Right.
Like it's it's
Mhm.
weird. There's a whole wide world.
Turns out, world's bigger than
I think
streaming.
in our space, we give a lot of like, wow, that's the popular streamer. He has 200,000 people watching him. But it's like, bro, that ain't nothing in the grand scheme of like entertainment. We are the world we exist in, and I always have to remind people, it's like books. You know, there might be like a famous author who is so popular, but only in the world of books. And book people know that guy and love that guy, and he's amazing. But outside of that, no one gives a damn about that guy.
Right.
Same with streaming. Same with where we're at. Yeah.
Yeah.